Our conversation with candidates for town council continues. Here's Warren County Report's Roger Bianchini.
Back to the tax hike and the revenue situation the town is facing this year, which went initially from about a $1.2 million deficit to I think it's considered around $600,000 now after the funding for police came in from the state. Initially you supported a 3-cent real estate and the 14-cent revenue equalization personal property tax rate. At the second public hearing, which was mandated because at 1 o'clock in the morning nobody thought that we've got to set some sort of a rate. So they revisited it, let people come back and talk to the issue again. There was a 1.5 cent real estate and again the 14-cent personal property on the table. You refused to support the 1.5 cent but said you would support the 1 cent. Why did you make that half-cent distinction after you'd supported the higher 3-cent rate initially?
Well, I also came in and trying to only have a 2 cent at that first initial reading. So because I heard what some of the folks were saying. Now, was it accurate? How many people are going to lose their home if we raise it by 3 cents or 2 cents or 1 cent? I don't know. I'm sure there are people out there that are really struggling. It's a very difficult time in the economy. Would a half a cent made a difference? Probably not. Between 1 and 1.5. Mainly it came down to the fact that I had said publicly that I would do 1 cent, and I knew, frankly, that there weren't votes there for anything. So whether I had supported 1.5 cents or not, it wouldn't have mattered at the end of the day. I don't have a great reason for it, except for the fact that I had already publicly said 1 cent, and that's what I wasn't going to budge from that because I want people to know that when I say something, that's what I mean.
In spite of your support of some tax increases this year in a very difficult budget, you received an endorsement from the local Tea Party. Did that surprise you?
It did. It did because many of them spoke out, and Mr. Radigan had even made a mention of me on one of the Northern Virginia Daily website blogs, posting on an article about Mr. Hrbek throwing back a penny. Instead of doing 3 cents, he's going to only make us pay 2 cents. But I think in the endorsement letter you saw that he wrote about it wasn't popular. It wasn't necessarily a popular decision. It certainly was something that I had to struggle with and come to terms with. Your own picture on your own paper there in the Warren County Report showed how much I struggled with my head down and my hands on the front page there. So it was a difficult decision because it goes against most things that I always thought I would be for. But I think for the most part, my philosophy of government and life, frankly, aligns with many of the Tea Party participants and members, and I believe that a lot of Tea Party members realize that some of the principles that the Tea Party movement espouses do not necessarily apply well to the local government, because at some point we are handed the empty bag. We are handed the unfunded mandate. The federal government can do all its giveaways and give it to the state, and the state can then hand it to us. So ultimately, somebody's going to have to pay for it, and we don't have anybody to hand it to. So I think a lot of folks that align with that party or that philosophy realize that. They realize that my character, I believe, is firm with them. I believe in what they believe in generally, and I was pleased to get it.
You came to council at a very young age. We talked about that a little bit earlier. What, if anything, do you know now that you did not know when you initially came to council about the function of government, and how do you think the experience of 4 years has improved you as a councilman?
Well, if you look at pictures of me 4 years ago, I probably didn't have to wear as many hats when I was outside. But there's so much that I've learned. It's amazing. We drive in other communities when we go on trips or whatever it is, and I notice stop signs, and I notice curbing, guttering, and I notice where light posts are, and I notice wastewater treatment plants, and I notice gutters, and I notice a lot of things that I took for granted. I really did. To know where or how the power comes into my house when I flip the switch, or where the water comes or goes when we flush the toilet or turn the faucet on, I didn't know that stuff, and I do now. And I think I'm fairly articulate. I'm not going to be able to go and speak with some of the experts on it, but I can understand what they're saying when we talk about I&I problems and understanding how much extra water we find in our sewer system than we're actually using. finding out the dealings between the different levels of government, state and local, and county and town, and federal and local. I mean, we ran into with the EPA a couple times, not only the Royal Phoenix, but with the endangered species there, with the changing the stoplight on Main Street. So I've learned an incredible amount. I think I can take that and just continue to move forward in the next 4 years, learn more, but take those 4 years of knowledge that I've gained in municipal government workings and apply that even more so.
I have one question to ask you for a finish. Are you committed to serve a full 4-year term on council, or would you consider a run for mayor in 2 years, depending on how things play out this year in the total election?
I don't know. I really enjoy this job. This is going to sound like the Hillary Clinton answer.
Bite your tongue.
I really enjoy this job. When I sit here and say that I will stay the whole 4 years, I don't know what 4 years is going to hold for me. I might have a promotion in my own work, or something else might come about, or we might have another child if my wife gets her way. So, I mean, there's a lot of factors that could come in that I don't know what's going to happen in 4 years. I'm not prepared to say I'm going to be here in 4 years. I'm not going to be prepared to say I'm running for mayor in 2 years. So I want to get through May 4th first and see what happens, and hopefully the people will re-elect me and put me back in this position, because I really enjoy it. I really have enjoyed watching us take the town from, it wasn't a bad place. I mean, I came back here voluntarily. I left for 8 years when I went to college and worked in Washington, D.C., but I wanted to come back to Front Royal. So it wasn't a bad place to come back to, but I think it's an even better place. And we're right there on the edge where the Royal Phoenix is about ready to take off, and with this new Happy Creek Road development and the FRLP development opening up the Happy Creek Technology Corridor and perhaps Legions Run Parkway, those things, I mean, that's exciting stuff that's going on out there, and the development that's coming out on the corridor. We've got so much stuff going on that I can't wait to see what Front Royal becomes, and I really want to help continue to push us in that direction. So we'll see what happens.
All right. Well, Bret Hrbek, thanks for being with us.
Thank you.